So we're here at Universal Studios Hollywood, and it's our first time trying Toothsome Chocolate Emporium.
Yeah, at CityWalk.
This is a fairly new restaurant to Hollywood CityWalk. It only opened in January this year, and we had the chance to visit in March.
The inside is themed pretty well. It's not as good as like the Toadstool Cafe. It's nice. It's steampunk themed. They have the same LCD kind of windows. I don't think they work as well. They don't really tell a story. It's kind of like a steampunk world out there in a factory setting. The actual kind of production and setting is kind of cool. They have lots of bronze colored screens and borders and lots of steampunk stuff.
They're mainly known for their ginormous milkshakes, which you can see right here. They have about 10 different flavors and a whole sundae bar. So you don't have to go here for dinner. You can just go to the counter and order a milkshake of your choice.
We did have to wait, even though we had a reservation. We waited about 10-15 minutes after our reservation to get seated. We did go 2 months after it opened, so that might have had something to do with it. It's a pretty big restaurant. There's lots of tables, outside and indoor dining. They have balconies and terraces and patios where you can sit outside and eat. But they also have 2 stories of seating inside.
So first up, we have the 2 Chocolate Stout. If you're a fan of chocolate and stouts like Guinness, this is probably one you're going to enjoy. It has a very distinct cocoa powder smell, and it's really good and really smooth.
If you like sweet, you're gonna like this. I'm not a big fan of the sweet beers, so it wasn't really my thing, but it was decent. You know, it was a solid stout.
And then next we got the coconut margarita.
This wasn't my favorite. Imagine like white chocolate mousse mixed with Sprite. It wasn't very.
And then for our entrees, I got the chicken, and it had a very earthiness to it. It was kind of heavily black peppered. And then the smashed potatoes were just fine. They were a little bland, but the asparagus was cooked very well. It was a fine dish. It wasn't my favorite, but it was okay.
The lemon sauce, the lemon white wine sauce that's supposed to be with it, it was a little too earthy. It wasn't as light as you wanted it. The seasoning on the chicken was fine, nothing special. But yeah, those mashed potatoes or smashed potatoes are really under-seasoned.
And then you got...
I got the...
Toothsome Signature Beef Tenderloin.
Yeah, the steak was probably the highlight of our meal. The meat itself was incredible. It had this really good sauce on it. I think it was like an onion jam or a shallot jam sauce on it, and they had a great crust. It was cooked perfectly. I asked for medium. It was perfectly light pink in the middle. It was really good. The sauce that came with it was really nice as well. The asparagus was fine. It was good. But once again, those smashed potatoes, they were a little bland. But yeah, this was by far our favorite entree.
Steak was so good. The caramelization of the pearl onions was just so good. And then we got the truffle fries, which are Parmesan and white truffle. They were fine, like they were good, but like for $8.95.
Yeah, they weren't anything special. For the amount that they charge for it, $8.95 for these, like they're decent fries. And the truffle, if you like truffle, like once again, you should like the flavor of truffle. It's truffle forward. The fries are cooked fine, but it's pretty expensive for just decent fries. They were nothing special.
Yeah. And then moving on to dessert, we got 2 milkshakes. First was the key lime pie milkshake.
Yeah, this is the one I really wanted to try. The key lime pie on top was awesome. It was incredible. The actual milkshake itself was okay. It kind of reminded me of just lime sherbet or lime sorbet, more like on the sherbet end. It was creamy, but it had a sour cream ice cream in it, which sounded interesting, and condensed milk. But I really wanted the flavor of the key lime pie that they had on top inside, that tartness, that brightness, that really acidicness. I wanted that inside the milkshake instead of just in the pie.
Yeah, I agree. The pie was really good, but the milkshake itself was fine. And then the red velvet milkshake was just kind of an overload, like a cupcake and a milkshake. This was one that you want to split.
Yeah, it's really heavy. The raspberry sauce, I just needed more of it. It didn't really come through. I wanted more cream cheese and raspberry flavor. The cupcake on top was
a little dry.
I enjoyed the cream cheese icing they had on top of the cupcake. I just missed that in the rest of the entire milkshake, and it was just really heavy. You know, if you're gonna get this, you're gonna want to split this one.
And the red velvet milkshake had like chunks of cake in the milkshake, so kind of made it grainy. So it wasn't very smooth.
Grainy. It was grainy because of the blended cake in it.
Yeah, I would prefer the key lime pie milkshake if we went back again.
Yeah, definitely.
And the milkshakes do come in these souvenir plastic mason jars that you're able to take home if you want. And then on to the huge gift shop, chocolate sweets area.
Yeah, they're the Emporium part of this. They have a big kind of sweet shop, dessert shop, confectionery, and gift store that's attached to it. I think the theming in this part of the restaurant and store is incredible. They have these great props and little figurines and art pieces that you can actually buy. Some of them, they have prices on them, and some are just for show. And then they actually have like goggles and hats and very steampunk themed costume pieces that you can buy as well.
And there's a lot of prepackaged chocolates, candies, snacks like popcorn, and then they also have like the fresh made dessert section of like macarons and like different types of chocolate.
They have marshmallows, and they have Rice Krispie treats, your usual kind of theme park confectionery fare that you would see at Disney or in Universal when you go to like a candy store or a confectionery store or a baked goods store that has the sweets. They have a crazy variety of chocolate covered cherries, raisins, different nuts, malt balls, caramels, and they have these interesting syrups that are really kind of cool. And they also have like candy powder or sweet powder that's flavored, and some of them are sour, some of them are just sweet.
And then you have like your classics, rock candy, cotton candy, like pick your own candy section. So there's a lot to choose from if you're like the really sweets kind of candy person, or you're just more of the chocolate kind of person. But you sort of felt like it was like stepping into Willy Wonka's world, but of steampunk kind of feel.
I mean, I think in summation, it was a really interesting, cool themed experience. At this time when we were there, they didn't have any sort of character interactions, but we know that in Orlando, that sometimes they have characters that go around and they kind of do some world building and elaboration on the story behind a chocolate emporium.
It was one restaurant I've been wanting to go to for a while. We had it on our bucket list when we went to Orlando, but we didn't get to go. So when I heard that it was opening in Hollywood, I knew I wanted to see what it was all about. And it was a good experience. Like I said, some food items were better than others. I'd probably try it again one more time and get some other things, but I enjoyed myself. If you've ever been to Toothsome Chocolate Emporium in Hollywood or Orlando, let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts about it.
If you like this video and you want to see more of our stuff, be sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know when our next video comes out, hit that notification bell, and thanks for watching.